So Damien's going to cover with you guys how to get recommendations at the highest level, and most importantly, how to qualify them at the highest level. This qualification part is majorly important. So Damien Scott, Assistant Division Manager, over $500,000 of personal sales that he has sold personally, almost $10 million of Cutco career sales. Damien, when are you going to hit that $10 million mark?
By the end of this push.
By the end of this push period, he is going to hit $10 million in Cutco career sales and officially be a Cutco HOS Hall of Famer. And those of you who go to Olean this year, if you haven't signed up for Olean, you should do that. For those of you who are interested in management, if you go to Olean this year, Damien's beautiful picture will be there. Damien, are you excited about that?
It's going to be awesome.
Oh, he's only at 450 in personal sales. I lied. Never mind. Let's get a different person to speak. All right, Damien, it's all yours, sir.
Okay, so if you haven't seen the link yet, I have a handout that you can be working with over the course of this meeting. So if you click on the link in the chat box or in our group me, or your district manager has sent it to you, you can go ahead and at the upper left-hand corner, click on File, make a copy, and that way you can actually fill in the blanks of this document. So I'm going to give everybody 20 seconds to do that. I've got 18 people on the document. Obviously, you will not be able to edit this one. Again, upper left-hand corner, click File, make a copy. I put the link in the chat box. I put the link in the divisional group me. Your district managers can go ahead and send them over to you. All right. So as you guys are doing so, I wanted to go ahead and ask a question about the word standards. We're going to be talking about the standards of how many referrals that you get. And I think a lot of people confuse the word standards with goals. So I want to help you understand what the word standard means, because I want to make sure that every demo you have a standard for how many referrals. All right, so this is going to be kind of a weird question. When you have to go to the bathroom. Okay, let me take somebody off mute. Gerardo, I'm gonna ask you to answer this because I know you're a sharp dude. Gerardo, you right? Gerardo's there, but he's not unmuted. Let's see.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So my question is, when you have to go to the bathroom, what do you do?
Ask. Can I use the restroom?
No, like you're in your own house.
Oh, I just go there or go to the restroom.
You just go. So you're telling me that you don't actually you don't poop your pants?
No, I don't poop my pants.
But I mean, you did it when you were a baby. What's wrong with that?
I just didn't know me better.
That's a standard. A standard is something that if you don't do it, you would feel crazy. Right? Imagine, right? If like right now you need to go to the bathroom and you just shit yourself, right? Like you would feel crazy. You'd be like, oh my God, I have to go to the hospital. There's something wrong with my brain. Yes? That's what it's like for me when I get less than 10 referrals. I feel crazy on a demo. I start internally freaking out and I'm just like, oh my God, what did I just do wrong? I need help. I got to talk to a professional because this is not right. So my question to you is, what's your standard for referrals on your demo? Is it that I just get referrals? Is it just asking for referrals as your standard? Maybe some of you guys are just like, I'm thinking about referrals. I'm going to start with that one. Or is it I get 5 every time? Or is it I get 10 every time and I qualify them and I get the customer to send me to send the 3-way text messages? What's your standard? What makes you feel crazy if it doesn't get happening? So again, that's the first bullet. That's the first blank. So you notice that over the course of this talk, there's going to be some blanks in the document. So you want to actually pull up the document. And if you want to put the Zoom side by side, that way you can be taking notes, or if you want to take notes on your paper and you can fill in the document later. But this is a working part. And no, for some of you that are trying to edit the document, you're not going to be able to do it. You have to click File, make a copy. This is my document, not yours. Make your own. So Mrs. Jones, people obviously don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, which is why I always threw this first line into my demo. Mrs. Jones, I always really like to get to know people You know, one day I want to become a psychologist, and that's going to be a job where I have to learn how to connect with really nice people, really nice moms like you. So is it okay if I ask a couple of questions to just get to know you a little bit? Well, obviously say sure. You know, moms love talking about themselves. That's awesome. So what do your kids like doing for fun? You'll notice there's a blank there to fill in. Fill it in. What do your kids like doing for fun? Moms love talking about their kids. If you're talking to someone that you know personally, maybe you're talking to your aunt and you obviously know what their kids do, or maybe you're talking to your own grandma if you're a new rep, a great way to edit that is, so what's new with my cousin? What's he been up to lately? Right? You want to get the current events. I really hate the question, how is blank? What's new is a much more directed question. Hey, Mrs. Jones, what is it like for your family around the holidays? What's it like for your family around the holidays? Whose house do you visit? What do you guys do to have fun at their home? Mrs. Jones, tell me about your neighborhood. How long have you lived there? Why'd you guys move here? Tell me about your neighborhood. How long have you lived here? Why'd you guys move here? Lastly, Mrs. Jones, so tell me a little bit more, you know, what do you do? It's a great way of asking what's your job. But what do you do also encompasses someone that's retired, someone that's a stay-at-home queen, right? Whoever you're talking about. Let's move over to the goal section. I think it was really valuable in my ability to get referrals from Mrs. Jones to understand why I'm doing the appointments, but not only that, why do I want to get referrals, even if it has nothing to do with selling Cutco? So I'd say, Mrs. Jones, my biggest goal is to become, like I said, a psychologist. And that was actually my major in college. By the way, nice thing is today I am a psychologist. I just don't have to prescribe any drugs. I deal with only positive people, so that's good. A big part of that profession is to learn with network with different types of people. And that's why I'm really passionate about every demo that I do, because I get to expand my network. And while a lot of young people are shying away into their phone, video games, and social media, I'm really excited to, at the end of this meeting, to ask for referrals so I can meet with all kinds of nice moms like you. All kinds of nice moms like you. So hopefully you got some of those blanks. All kinds of nice moms like you. And when I would say the word like you, I would write the words like eye contact. That's when if I was reading a script, which is fine, that's when I would kind of look up and just get in the nice moms like you. Like I would even point to the camera if I'm virtual, or if I would get eye contact if I was in person, to help me move forward with my goals. Compliments. Mrs. Jones loves compliments. If they like you, they feel like they know you more, and they trust you more. And if they don't trust you, they're not going to let you buy into their network. That's what a referral generation is they're allowing you to buy into their network. Only way that's going to happen is with trust. So let's talk about the 4 P's that you need to compliment on every demo if possible. First of all, they're people. You know, this is something that I learned actually from Anna Olmedo, for those of you that don't know, $30,000 push last summer, is that she would compliment the children to the mom on the demo. It's one of the most powerful things I've ever heard her do, especially if it was one of her friends' parents. She said, Mrs. Jones, the first thing I wanted to say is, like, your daughter is one of my favorite people on earth. I really look up to her. She's so confident. She's so professional. And I mean, she must have a really awesome mom to have her come out like that. Yeah, you're getting referrals at the end of that one. Mrs. Jones, I haven't even heard, you said you have kids? I haven't even heard a peep out of them. You must have the most well-trained children I have ever heard of in my life. Man, you know, how do you do it? They're just like, Me? Oh, well, we have some good stuff. They're like, in their room on social media, but like they're going to take credit for it. Their pets, same thing. If you're alive, you are now the biggest dog lover on earth. I don't care what you do, but you got to make them think that you love dogs. Now, if you're me, that's not that hard. But what do? You kind of put your hand like this. That's a good way to have a dog come sniff you. If you do this, not good. Okay. But you do the little hang and the dog, and then you go for a little bit of behind the ear, underneath the chin. Guys, this is, ladies, this is just like dating, nothing different. A little behind the ear and a little underneath the chin, right? They start loving you afterwards, right? I'll get like the belly rub going. By the way, that's not like dating, but I get the belly rub going, right? Cats, not so much, but the dog, pretty welcoming. And all of a sudden, dude, they're like hiring you for dog babysitting. Of course, you're going to get 1 million referrals at the end of this thing. Their places, Mrs. Jones, I see that you have some pictures in the background on your refrigerator. Where have you traveled to? Oh, that's pretty cool. You seem like you're very worldly. Hopefully I can be like you one day. Their plants. Oh my God, Mrs. Jones, your garden, your lawn, that is manicured. Do you do that yourself? Hey, hubby, he's complimenting your lawn. Oh yeah, buy whatever you want from him. Right? Like the gardens, the flowers. If you complimented my wife's garden, you would at least, you're buying at least $500. Easy money. Memorize your referral approach. I want you to write this down. With referrals, you're either a 10 or a 1. There is no middle when it comes to asking for referrals. You're either a 1 or a 10. Any chink in the armor, it's going to break your confidence. So for those of you that suck at referrals and don't know how to memorize something, I will now teach you how to memorize something from the person that has the world's shortest attention span, current company me. So how did I memorize my referral approach? Well, first of all, I realized that Uncle Cutco was going to pay for college if I did it, so I figured it'd be worth my time. You guys know the words to Despacito in Spanish, so you can memorize things, yes? Okay, so here's how you memorize referrals. You grab your voice recorder and you voice record yourself reading the referral approach out loud. Just from the word great, here's how you can really help me out, all the way down to after the sponsorship part. Just say it out loud, word for word. And then you need to take the referral approach and then put it away. You grab pen and paper, and then you script out the referral approach from your voice, from the audio. You are allowing your ears, your eyes, your brain, your hand, all things to work at the same time. Not type it out, but writing it out word for word verbatim. You do that over the course of an hour and you will have it memorized without even trying to have it memorized, because you'll have to record it. But what's most valuable is you'll not only memorize what you're saying, you'll memorize how you're saying it, because it's about the how, not just the what. Okay, so next step, let's talk about the process. So Mrs. Jones, did you want to go ahead and get that 3-piece special today? Yes. Okay, great. Boom. You go right into the app. All right, Mrs. Jones, I'm going to go ahead and press submit. All right. Now there's one more very important part. How'd you like my demo? From the moment you click submit to starting the top of page 20 through the referral approach has got to be the next breath, the next instant. You cannot stop. You cannot create a break. You can't let them get a word in. It's like, congratulations, you're going to love your Cutco. Now here's more, so how'd you like my demo? Hey, did you want to go ahead and buy that one knife? Reserve your buy now bonus? No, I don't think we're gonna do it. That's awesome. How'd you like my demo? The second that you can do that, it instantly teaches your customers that you are a low pressure salesperson. Because if you take any second after the no sale happens to process and digest, they feel uncomfortable and will give you less referrals. Or they will only give you referrals of people they think will do what? Exactly, because they don't want to have that next scenario happen like that for you. But if the second they say no, you're like, no problem. How'd you like my demo? They're like, wow, that was so low pressure. I can't believe you're in such a great mood. And I said, no, I guess I can refer you to everyone, not just people that I'm sure will buy. Which, by the way, how often do you get someone saying, oh yeah, you know what, I was thinking about buying next week, some knives. Let me know if you know anyone. Okay, the process has to be instant. The process has to be instant. The top 3 sentences, again, ask immediately after closing. Again, where it says process, ask immediately after closing. Let's talk about the most important lines of the approach. The word really help me out. You know, these are the three that I would have some eye contact with if I could. Mrs. Jones, this is how you can really help me out. Ms. Jones, I'm not necessarily looking for people who you think would buy. I'm not looking for people, and I would like nod, I would shake my head. I'm not looking for people you think would buy. Just nice moms like you. I'm just looking for a nice mom like you. Again, that's another compliment opportunity. So again, if I'm on Zoom, just a nice mom like you. And she's like, me, I'm nice. That's right. Because if they're nice, they have to give you referrals. Only not nice people will not give you referrals. So if they nod, yes, I'm nice, then yes, they give referrals. Okay. It's really important, just like any athlete, right? No coach likes when a professional basketball player takes a shot and walks away before it goes in. That's only what showboaters do. Okay, or Stephen Curry, right? Whoever, you know, kind of person you are, LeBron, right? So, but no coach likes that, right? The fans, they think it's kind of fresh, but the coaches, it rips them up inside. The players that coaches love the most are the ones that when they shoot, they immediately up for the rebound, two hands, right? Don't be a wimp on this thing. You got to be expecting objections. It's kind of like a homemaker sale. If they just give me referrals, I was like, oh, wow, must be my lucky day. That's great. But I'm always expecting the objections to come up. So that way I'm always ready. They say the greatest salespeople can see the future. I can always expect them to say the following objections. I can do it later. It's okay. Can I do this later? No, you're not going to do it later. You just really think Mrs. Jones is going to come home from a long day of work tomorrow, you know, grab a couple glasses of wine, shoo her kids away. No, hubby, we're not going to have a lovely, you know, conversation. I need to get Georgia referrals. That's what I'm doing with my time today. I got about an hour of referral generation for Dalton. No. Stonica, she's my priority, not nothing, which I prefer to do, right? You guys think they're going to give you referrals later? It's never going to happen. Somebody got it from their mom and you think that's what's going to happen next. Now she's ruining your expectations, right? She's not giving you referrals unless like you live in her home or something. Okay. So that's why it's so important to be like, Mrs. Jones, I totally appreciate you wanting to do that. But like I said, I know you're so busy, probably with your friends, right? Just like you're busy right now. But I'm not looking for people you think would buy. I'm just looking for one or two nice moms like you. Whenever you get the objection, one of the things I would write down is, when you get to an objection, always just ask for one. That's like your friend that says, no, I don't want to go to the party. And if you're like, but no, it's only an hour that we're going to be there for, they're like, no. But if you're like, let's just show up for 5 minutes, like you have to take an inch before you take the whole entire mile. Right. And so when somebody says no, be like, hey, no problem. You know, how about just one nice mom? Because you know what happens when you can get one, then you can get two. It's like once the dam opens, once they're like, you know, that their no breaks, that's when you can start getting more. Now, what about someone that gives you less than 5? Right. That's one of the that's that second bullet point blank. Someone that gives you less than 5. Someone that gives you less than 5 didn't understand what you were asking for. That's why I restate what I was asking for. Someone that gives me 4, be like, this is awesome, Mrs. Jones. But like I mentioned, I'm only looking for nice moms because if they give you 4, they know 10. Someone that only gives you 5 referrals, that's the one that started with 0. But if they give you 4 without you even having to do anything, then they can give you 10 to 20. You just have to explain what you're looking for. Mrs. Jones, this is awesome, these 4, but I'm not looking for people that you think would buy. Just looking for nice moms that would that just would be nice to take a look at me. Mrs. Jones, I'm only looking for nice moms that don't hate college students. That's all my standard is. As long as they don't hate college students, that's who I'm looking for. Oh, none of my friends are going to buy. That's perfect because that'll make my appointments really fast and easy. And it still helps me towards a scholarship if they don't buy. So how about just like the mean people? Don't worry, I've got knives. I can definitely protect myself against the meanest mom. Do not sweat. We'll be good. Everything else, every other objection that you get is a trust scenario. Every other objection you get is a trust scenario. The reality is if you were their son or daughter, they would give you referrals, right? So it's a trust scenario. Oh, I don't know anyone. Oh, I don't feel like all that. It's all trust. So you need to reestablish trust by giving them information. Their fear is just a lack of information. So we just need to fill the information gap so that way they feel comfortable with referrals. Mrs. Jones, couple things I wanted to mention. This is when they say like, oh, I don't know if I feel comfortable, or, I only gave you like 2 people, like everybody else, I got to ask my coworkers before I give them out. By the way, they don't and they won't, just so you know. All right. So we know that kind of stuff. Mrs. Jones, just want to let you know, our company's #1 philosophy when it comes to building our network is privacy. Since 1949, one of our company's #1 philosophies is privacy. We're an American company. We're super old school. We have a privacy policy where we do not share information with anybody. Meaning, these people that you refer me, I'm the only person on earth that's ever going to see the names. In fact, on this app, if you're using it, it's double encrypted. The only people that can see it is people that have my rep number and our 4-digit code. My manager can't see them, because otherwise, if we would share referrals, we would go out of business in 1951, right? The second anybody complained about it on social media, because we're not in the stores. We're only on word of mouth. That's why it's such an incredible training. So here's what I promised, Mrs. Jones. Here's my promises that I have with my customers. I promise that I'm going to treat your friends with the same respect I treated you. I promise I'm the only person that's ever going to call them. And I promise your friends will love that they got a chance to see Cutco too. So how about one mom from blank? So how about your blank? Right? So it's like you just level with them. Either they sold you or you sell them. Who's been in more training hours, you or them? Exactly. So you got to have a standard, because if I don't get referrals, I'm going to feel crazy. So I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to put my integrity on the line. I'm going to put my company's integrity on the line for one referral. That's my job. My job is get referrals. Sell Cutco, that's Cutco's job. Knives, they do that for you. Let's not us confuse ourselves and think we're salespeople. We're just Cutco's fancy, finger pedestals. But referral getting, that's my job. That's what I do. That's my profession. Ooh. So let's talk about the next step. Mrs. Jones needs encouragement. I love giving them encouragement as they're coming up with referrals. Mrs. Jones, you're doing awesome. She's got like 3 referrals. How many do you have tomorrow? Mrs. Jones, you're doing great. This is really helping me out. I'll add in them. Mrs. Jones, you have no idea how much this helps me. This is changing my life. This is so helpful for me. This is how I'm paying for school. This is how I'm building my resume. Like, I want them to know that every name, I want to just release all of the positive endorphins into their brain. I want to give them all of that praise. Mrs. Jones, I promise I'll be super nice to them. Mrs. Jones, I know they're going to really appreciate that you referred them. Mrs. Jones, I promise I'll be super nice to them. I think the 5th bullet point is, it's totally fine if they say no. It helps me just to try, because it really helps me with my phone skills, even if they say no. So every time somebody, because you know how you ask, like, hey, how about your sister? Oh, no, she's not going to. Mrs. Jones, it's totally fine if she says no. Like, I'm encouraging them against their lack of interest in whether or not they should show the person. Oh, don't you? Oh, that person's mean. Great. Give me the mean people. It helps me build my persistence and my resilience. Like, these are skills I'm trying to gain. Like, you got to be ready to get excited to handle objections. Are you excited to handle the objections? Because you know what feels better than a homemaker sale? A homemaker sale from someone who was about to not get referred to you, but you earned that referral. Because you handled it, and you can think back like, oh my God, she wasn't even going to give me referrals. And I used my objection handlers, and I kept encouraging them, and I gave every effort that I could, and I got it. And I sold a homemaker. I earned that homemaker sale. Every referral gets me closer to my scholarship. Every referral gets me closer to a scholarship. You got to guide them towards a number. Mrs. Jones, just so you know, my record is whatever your record is, whatever is the most. I want you to write down, what is the most number of referrals you have ever gotten on one appointment? That's your record. You want to use our divisional record? From what I understand, Juan Almedo, 206 referrals. Ask your manager, hey, Alex, if I break the divisional record, can I get a free piece of Cutco? If he says no, come talk to me. I'll hook you up. Dude, anytime you break a record in our office, hook it up with a free piece of Cutco. 206, come with it. They give you 4 and you're impressed. Come on, Mrs. Jones. I saw your social media before that. By the way, why don't you look at their social media before your appointment? Could we go on there? Maybe look to see who are the nice moms, write them down and have that list ready on my appointment. Gosh, who would do that? A really well prepared professional salesperson. You mean like you? Yeah. Hop on their social media, print out their friends list. Some people leave that stuff completely public. They don't know how Facebook works. They just know that it works. Aaron Luden, who I learned about a lot of referrals, used to print out the Facebook list, try to find them on reverse address and see who had the most expensive houses. Whew. Now that is a salesperson. That's sick. That's sexy. Ask about Aaron Luden. All right. Mrs. Jones, you're almost at 10. Oh my God, you're halfway there. Mrs. Jones, you're almost at 20. You're only 15 away. I'm going to help you get to 20, Mrs. Jones, because I know that you are the most popular girl in all of your friends. And she's like, I am super popular because I'm telling you that you're popular. You got to like will them into thinking this. Mrs. Jones, I want to add you to my favorite people's list. Mrs. Jones, I want to add to that's my sponsors, my favorite people's list. By the way, just so you know, your friend only gave me 12. I think you can beat her. I think she told me that you're way more popular than she is. You smile, you nod, and she nods, and then you paid for college, right? Because she wants to help. If you're asking for referrals like you're constipated when you're asking for referrals, good luck getting referrals. Because they think that you're going to talk to their friends in an awkward way too. And then, yeah, bribe them with Cutco. Hands down, no problem. Mrs. Jones, how many referrals do you have? 3, that's all you got? Oh, okay. What if I give you a free ice cream scoop? Hey, Johnny, give me your soccer directory. Is verbatim what happened on one of my appointments. Hey, Johnny, give me your soccer directory. Little kid's like, for what? Because I said so, and you live under my roof. Give me your soccer directory. Because I have an ice cream scoop. Are you doing the dangle? You guys don't know what the dangle is, right? You got your vegetable peeler from your manager. By the way, tell your manager to buy vegetable peelers. I have like 100 in my office. All right, check it out. So Mrs. Jones, you can get me to 20. I'm just gonna like put this down here and I'm gonna forget to take it with me on my way out. So who do you think we can get? Can we get to 10? Mrs. Jones, this vegetable peeler is about as close to a religious experience that you can have with a vegetable peeler. You guys have not used a vegetable peeler? Because I hear the word, oh God, every single time someone uses the vegetable peeler. It's close, right? Or whatever you God you believe in. Okay. They're $6. Get peelers. If you're at 30% commission, don't give them away with points. Do the math. It's better to buy them for $6 or $7, however much they are. I used to have just a pack of peelers. I don't know if you guys know the Conquistador Cortez, right? He got to the island and burnt the ships. So that way they have to take over. History lesson for you. Yeah. So I would always have enough vegetable peelers purchased for every demo that I had. So I was already like 30, 40 bucks in the hole. So I'm like, I better get referrals. Otherwise I just threw away money. Burn the ships, buy the peelers. That's all I'm saying about that. Bribe them with Cutco. But don't give them like for 3 referrals. I'm talking about for like 20, 30, 40, 50, break my record, and I'll hook you up with a peeler. What about for a fisherman solution? You sell them a homemaker and you got 100 points left over and you want to reserve them instead of getting 20 referrals from someone that just bought a homemaker set? All their friends buy homemakers from you. Hook them up with a crap ton of Cutco. Run out of points if they run out of referrals. Thought jog with them. Mrs. Jones, what about some of your moms from the kids' activities? Thought jog with them. What about some of the moms from the kids' activities? You know, all the soccer moms. I love when the kid is there and I cut the penny for him. And I'm like, hey, little Johnny, what about some of your friends from soccer's parents? And they're like, yeah, what about Sandy's mom? What about, what about Johnny's mom? They're like, oh, I don't know. Be like, no, listen to him. He's the one that wants you to get free Cutco. The little kid's going to be your help. Mrs. Jones, you mentioned that you visit your sister over the holiday. What about her? Mom, sister, anyone else like that? How about somebody from your job? Who's one nice person? Who's one nice person from your job? Hopefully you're filling in the blanks. Mrs. Jones, and this one was something that I don't know if I invented this or somebody in my office. I'm sure it was somebody else. Mrs. Jones, I want to become an electrician. Do you know anyone from that industry? Mrs. Jones, I want to become a doctor. Mrs. Jones, I want to become a police officer. Mrs. Jones, I want to become an IT professional. Do you know anyone from that industry? Guys, I did so many appointments for psychologists. That's how I found out I didn't want to become one. But you got to get to know your industry. It's the best way to do so is to do appointments for these people. Plus, if that is an industry that you're in love with and you do 15 demos for people, good job. You just did 15 job interviews. You're going to get job offers the second you leave college. Like I mentioned, though, I'm working really, really hard to earn a scholarship. What about one more name? One more name is the key to success. All right. Last but not least is qualification of leads. So Mrs. Jones, thank you so much for these names. You're the best. You're my hero. Just so it's easier for me to contact them. That's what I want you to write down. Just so it's easier for me to contact them. Can I ask you a couple questions? And if you're on my outline, you'll see that I made a my top people list. Now, what you want to do with this is you want to just put it in your notebook. If you want to make copies of this, that's fine. You've got the document. You can print out 100 of them, put them in a clear plastic sheets, number them 1 through 50. Your objective is not to get referrals on these. Your objective is to get your top referrals on this. So somebody to give you 10 referrals, you should get at least 3 top people. Typically about 10 to 3 is good. Somebody gives you 100, see if you can stick around for 30. But what you're going to do is from every list of referrals, you want to ask the following questions. Okay. You got the 3 bullet points at the bottom. Let me fill these in. Mrs. Jones, how do you know them? Oh my God, there's nothing more awkward. I heard a couple people in this yesterday do this. Hey, I was talking to your friend, Susanna. You mean my sister, Susanna? You're dead. You're dead if you did that. You think they're going to let you over at their house if you just made up the relationship and you were wrong? You're dead. Yes. How do you know them? Oh, it's my friend. Oh, it's cool. How do you guys know each other? Dig in, ask a question and dig a little deeper. Ask a question, dig a little deeper. And then dig a little deeper. How do you know them? Oh, we work together. Where do you guys work together? Oh, we're at Apple. Cool. How long have you guys been working there? That's awesome. And what about some more people from Apple, right? You can get more referrals at the end. Second bullet point question. This is so important. Again, heard a couple of you guys do this. What's their spouse's name? Hey, Mrs. Jones, I just want to ask, is your spouse going to be there? Oh, I'm not married. Oh, I'm sorry. I heard at least 3 people do that yesterday. You're dead. Come on, no single people. If somebody, by the way, tell me that they're not married, I put a little S next to their name, and at the end of the demo, I'm just going to delete the referral. I'm not calling single people. I got too much Cutco to sell around here. Right? Now, I'm not going to tell them, oh, getting scratched off. No, I'm not going to say that. But in my mind, I'm not calling single people. I'm only calling married couples. I want to sell Cutco, not Crapco. What's their spouse's name? Now, by the way, I like the word spouse, not husband or wife, because that's going to handle the, like, my mom had a boyfriend that she was living with for like 20 years. They were just too lazy to get married. That's spouse. That's the same thing, right? Last question. If you were me, Mrs. Jones, who would you call first? You got to have a little half smile on this one. Mrs. Jones, if you were me, who would you call first? That they know what you're trying to ask, by the way. And they will tell you. They will throw their friend directly underneath the bus as fast as possible. Oh my God, Susie, she's going to buy all this stuff. With Jane, make sure her husband's not there. With Susie, make sure her husband is there though. Right? And so, like, you kind of know, and that's what I love. So when I'm calling people like, oh, is that your husband in the background? I can hear you guys, mowing your lawn, whatever. All right. So you got to ask these questions. What you're doing is you're adding these people to your top 50 list. So every day when you go to make phone calls, these are the people that you start with. So who's got demos today? All right. Who's got at least 2 or 3 demos today? Awesome. You should come back tomorrow to Phone Jam with 5 to 10 people already on your top 50 list. Otherwise you forget. Otherwise, why did I waste my time for the last 30 minutes? Right? That qualification, creating that top 50 list, that's what's going to get you into the networks of networks, to the houses of people that love to cook and love to entertain and have even some of the disposable income, right? And refer you to other super awesome Cutco moms that are going to help you crush this push. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you learned a thing or two about a thing or two, and go kick butt on referrals.